Broadcasting live from the moon and back, this is The Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs, capturing the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here are your co-hosts, financial and crypto experts Yuri Cataldo and Steve Good.
Hey, this is Steve Good from the Coin Chat.
This is CryptoBeast from the CryptoBeast Show.
And this is Kryptos Chain from the Kryptos Chain YouTube channel.
And we are here today doing a fantastic collaboration. We're going to just get right into what are STOs, should we even be doing STOs? And let's have some controversy, guys. I'm in for this because I want to debate this. I have my opinions, so let's go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I'm just going to kick you off straight away just to tell people what STOs are. So they're security token offerings. Look, we've done some research. I know Steve's working with a couple of companies at the moment. A lot of people are saying it's the middle ground between an ICO and an IPO. So an IPO is an initial, what is it again?
Initial public offering.
Initial public offering. So it's more on the financial side. It's more regulated. So this is a step in the right direction. But in my opinion, they're trying to pull it off as this is the safe way of investing in crypto. And I don't buy it. I'll be very upfront with you. I don't buy it. I've looked in the regulations. So there's 3 ways to sort of avoid the SEC and so you can actually run this STO. So there's Regulation D, which is what most people do. And it's for accredited investors only. So it's people with $1 million net worth in their bank account. Then there is Regulation CF, which is crowdfunding. But you can only, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can only raise 1.07 million per year through this. Is that correct, Steve?
I've never heard of CF before.
Okay, so that's the second regulation. So that's what I read up so far. So it looks like that's the maximum you can raise. So it's way below what ICOs used to raise. Because I'm sure you remember last year and the years before, it's 50 million, 10 million, 70 million. Now it's like only 1. And then there's Regulation A+. Steve, can you tell me a little bit about this?
Well, I can't, because I mean, I've actually been certified by a lawyer in the States. There's a course that's being done by a group to help people to know how to advise. And basically, people are not using A+ as far as registering their companies.
Yeah.
The mainstream is you focus on Reg D, because that's the mainstream way to form a company in the U.S. if you're doing a U.S. STO or forming a company. And then, of course, if you're doing something that's outside of the U.S., then you might form the Reg S, which is just complementary. But the Reg D is the main structure that forms the company and defines the mechanisms. And then there's even 2 subcomponents that you have to comply with in terms of determining if you're going to do it as a public sale or a private sale, which is interesting.
Yeah, so it's all about the regulation. As you can see, they're using the word regulation.
Correct.
They have like a 1-year lockup at the moment. So they're trying to make it look like it's safer. And it is, like, once again, it's a step in the right direction. It is safer than ICOs, but it's not good enough, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the honest answer for me is that the whole point of crypto is meant to be crowdfunding.
Yeah. Yes.
And STOs are really focusing on, first and foremost, accredited investors, which immediately limits the number of people and the type of people that can invest to a very restricted amount of people. For U.S. law, you have to have a really big salary or a huge amount of money in the bank, both of which most people don't have if they want to do crowd participation. And the same rules apply in Singapore and in the UK. They're just different variances of the same problem, that you have to be some form of an accredited investor, which means you have to have proof that you filed taxes for the last few years. You have to have a minimum income for the last few years, and not everyone's going to have that. And just limiting the number of investors overall to a very small number kind of defeats the whole point of crowdfunding, and it turns into a completely different game, which is actually going down the old venture capital path or seed rounds and all this kind of stuff, which to me is going almost a little too far. I mean, I certainly agree we need regulation in crypto, but I mean, is it right to say that we've gone from crowdfunding, anybody can participate, to STO, practically nobody can participate? In my opinion, to that is probably that's not the right answer, but it's what complies with the law.
Yeah. Well, I know Crypto Chain had some questions for you, but my sort of overview of it is that when ICO started and the whole crypto sort of started booming in regards to investment into new projects, what people need to see is that even if you were a 10-year-old, you were able to buy Bitcoin from someone that invested in this. So that's how unregulated it was. You can buy Bitcoin from somebody you know, invest into this project, make a profit, and sell Bitcoin to that same person you know, making that profit. So now we're moving to direction of regulation. So it's a step in the right direction. I like what I'm seeing. It's creating that trust, but at the same time, it's limiting the opportunities that these companies have. So it's what we want.
Slowing the process down too, because I mean, how many people want to invest and wait a year, right? Because that's another thing. You got a limited number of investors. You have to wait a period of time. You have to be accredited to get involved. So basically, we're just telling the whole entire consensus and crowd-based communities, sorry, you can't participate anymore. And I'm not sure that's really the.
Sorry, mate. One last thing. What they all have, Regulation D and CF, is they have a 1-year lockup limit, which is what I think is the best thing about STOs, is that it will stop pump and dump schemes. So the companies won't be able.
Yes and no. I mean, the 1 year is that people are locked in after they make their investment. And after that 1 year, then the token can be listed, and then anybody can get in and anybody can pump and dump. So it doesn't change the problem. It just limits it. It just delays the problem, because
delays the problem.
I mean, because anybody can be on an exchange and can use a bot, and I don't know how they'll restrict bots in new security exchange. I have no idea how they'll do that. But I mean, the reality is, if you want to pump and dump a coin, you just wait till it gets listed. You jump in there and you pump it. I mean, how is that any different?
As one does, yeah.
Okay, guys.
So anyway, go for it, Kryptos Chain.
So I've actually got 6 questions for you. It's some only for Steve, and some are for Steve and CryptoBeast. So you can take turns. Maybe Steve first, because you're certified in it, and then CryptoBeast after. So one of these questions out of the 6 is mine, but the rest are from the community. So
cool.
Perfect.
Let's start off. So do you think STOs will reach the same hype ICOs had? Steve, if you could please give us your opinion.
Absolutely not. No chance. Because we're limiting the number of people that could participate. If you look at, if any company does an STO and they start with the US, the total global participation is limited down to 1,999 people. Ooh. That's it. And of that, only 299 can be US citizens, and the rest can be from outside the country. So how can that possibly have the same hype or the same involvement at all? It's going to be big money playing around. It'll be hype amongst institutional investors, and all the rest of us will be sitting on the side going, great, but we can't get in. We have to wait a year, and it'll be like Twitter, right? Oh, it's such a cool product. I wish I could have had shares in this thing in the early days when it was just investors only, and we have to wait and invest when it hits and does IPO. That's the same game we're dealing with here, is we're all going to be waiting around. So the hype will be gone, because we're all kind of like, well, we have to wait for the product to work. We have to wait to use it. We have to wait another year before it's even listed on an exchange. Sometimes projects take 3, 4, 5 years before, companies take up to 7 years or sometimes longer before they even go public and go onto the NASDAQ or FTSE or the DAX or whatever. So in crypto, who's to say it's going to be 1 year? It might be 2 or 3 years waiting as well. So, I mean, how is that going to keep the hype? It's going to kill it.
So actually, just one moment. How long does it actually take, more or less, just to extend on this question, to actually apply for the regulation, for the license, before you can start a token sale as an STO?
I have one client, and we started back in May, and it's now January, and we've only just started the sale. And the reason being is you've got to file because we're dealing with STO, you're not just filing in one country. You have to comply with the laws of every single country where you're going to sell tokens. So if you're going to sell the tokens and you're going to sell them in Singapore, you have to limit it to 50 people. If you're selling in the US, you limit it to 299. During that 1 year lockup where people own tokens in Singapore and they own tokens in the US, the crazy thing is that you can allow people that have purchased tokens to swap with one another, but you have to restrict them to the country where they're from because you don't want to exceed the 50 investor limit in Singapore or the 299 limit in the US, which means that US people can only trade with other US people, and it creates a very illiquid market, which will be pretty much no trading takes place. But for those who want to get in and out, they could. But you're talking about a very long, protracted period of time, and you're talking about a lot of legal things that have to be done. And even after you're set up legally, structured correctly for all the different countries where you're going to sell, the onboarding process, oh my God, it's like you have to first get onto an onboarding platform like Securitize or Polymath or Brightcoin, get set up on there, pay them a lot of money to help you through the process, and they're governing and managing the KYC process, the anti-money laundering process, the accredited investor process, and at the minimum, it's going to take 5 to 7 days to verify a person, and at the outset, it can take a month before the person's even verified, before they can even receive the memorandum documents from the company to even issue them, so you can then look at them and decide if you're going to invest.
Okay, so it sounds
so
really
talk about going from, oh, here's a white paper, project looks amazing, send a few emails, talk to them on Twitter, I'm getting in, or talk to them on Telegram, have some AMAs, and we're going to go from that to, 2 months before you can actually get one investor to put some money in. Maybe 2 weeks if you're really lucky, but I mean, you're talking about a much more extended period of time of, and to be fair, there's something good about that too, because there's a lot of due diligence that's going on both sides, because we get rid of all the scammers, we get rid of all the crap, but it's gone from one extreme to the other. That's my concern.
Yeah.
So CryptoBeast, thank you very much, Steve. That's actually really good. It's actually a really nice answer because you've explained the ins and outs as well. So CryptoBeast, what's your opinion on that? Like, what do you think?
Well, I think Steve explained it quite well. All I want to add is what I saw brought in the beginning regarding the regulation, the crowdfunding regulation, is that they're limiting it. So like I said, you can only invest 1.07 million per year. So the amount of people that can be involved in a specific project is much smaller. That meaning there's less hype around projects now because there's less people talking about it. So your question about is the hype going to be back in the same sort of level? No way. But just talk maybe straying away from the subject. Is the hype going to be back in crypto? In maybe not specifically STOs or ICOs? I think yes, because hype is brought in by percentage profit. Right. I did some research in regards to ICOs and IPOs from 2017, I believe it was, and the average that an IPO investor made was something like 8%, and an ICO investor made like 40%. So, right. and these people, and this was the average. So imagine how many ICOs there were. There were scams and everything, but even the scams were making profit. So it's when the profits start, it's when Bitcoin goes on a bull run, that's when the hype is going to come back and it's going to hit the ground run. And there might not be STOs, it might be whatever they think of next,
Yeah. So an interesting point for that actually for you, Beast, is that when you think about this, right, we're focusing so much on the investor side of it that we almost kind of lose sight of the fact that is this project legitimate? Because anybody can get lawyers and create a project and show a demo and make it all look real, and it could be as fake as anything else we've ever seen that looks fake. But we haven't done the reverse, which is to verify that these projects, and this was the whole reason we wanted regulation in the first place in crypto, was to stop the scammers, not to stop the investors. But somehow we've gone the other way, which is, and I'm not sure anyone's ever said this before, so I may be the first one actually publicly thinking this out loud, which is, are we not actually putting so much emphasis on the investors that we've forgotten to focus on the projects themselves, which are where the problem lies in the first place, which is we need an anti-scam regulation. We don't need to focus on the AML and the KYC as much, because most people that are out there investing are putting small amounts in that are so low that it wouldn't even fall into the thresholds of AML anyway.
Yeah. Maybe like a specific guideline that each company must follow. This is actually a really good idea from my platform. Maybe I can get companies to sort of follow specific guidelines and tick off boxes saying, yes, we've done this, yes, we have this. And then I can just sort of confirm it and say, yeah, this company is legitimate because of these things.